ॐ असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतङ्गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from death to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. My dear devotees, today is a very, this whole week is very auspicious week. Why? This Thursday, we had a Last Supper, and yesterday it was a Good Friday, and tomorrow we are having a Easter Resurrection Day. So just like the Christmas, so this holy week is also very, very important celebration, and especially Easter also. There's a beautiful a poem, just a poem or a prayer, just I would like to read, and afterwards I will go to the talk, or I will try to discuss about the Easter and its significance and what we can derive the inspiration from the Easter. Dear God, as we celebrate the Easter season, we come before you with the hearts full of gratitude for the sacrifice that your Son, Jesus Christ, made on the cross for us. We thank you for the gift of new life and the hope that it brings. Help us to remember the significance of Easter and to live our lives in a way that honors the sacrifice of Jesus. We pray for those who are struggling this Easter, for those who are lonely, grieving, or feeling lost. May them find comfort in your love and the promise of eternal life. We ask you that you may bless the families, friends, and help us to be a reflection of your love and grace to those who are around us. We also pray for the peace and unity in our world and for an end to the suffering caused by the violence and injustice. May the message of Easter inspire us to work towards a world filled with love, compassion, truthfulness, kindness, and benevolence. We ask, pray for your continued guidance and protection as we navigate through life, and we thank you for the unfailing love and mercy by you on us. Dear devotees, this is a wonderful, prayer. We all celebrate Easter, we all celebrate Good Friday, we all celebrate different festivals, basically. Different festivals, different celebrations, and all. But that should not end just in having a family get together, or social gathering, or having a fun, or having a picnic, or just eating different delicacies. Basically, it should not be just a source or a means for our enjoyment. Maybe that is one that can be one of the cause, but more than that, we should understand the spiritual and philosophical significance behind every celebration, every festival, and then if we can celebrate it, it will be more beneficial for the body, mind, and the soul. The role of festivals are very, very important for a human being. Across all the religions, we have got festivals. It has got a, what you say, the reasons may be different, but the overall meaning will be more or less same. What is that? It helps us to break the boredom of the life And also it also helps us to remember the divine, to uplift ourselves, to uplift our mind, and etc. Even if you see the history of the Easter also, it is very, very important. Why? When the resurrection of Jesus is said to have taken place, that's what we celebrate Easter. Now, this gives lot of confidence for all of us that we are not body. We are not just mere body. We are not just mere mind, or we are not just mortal, rather, we are immortal. The crucifixion has been happened on Good Friday, and after 3 days, third day, the resurrection of the Jesus Christ has happened. We all know that. That means what? The soul or the spirit is eternal. This idea has been given beautifully or explained beautifully in Bhagavad Gita. Vasansi jirnani yata vihaya navani grunhati naroparani tata sharirani vihaya jirnan anyani sanyati navani dehi. This body has been dropped, and the spirit or the subtle body, which in Vedanta we say, it assumes the new body. How? Just like when we are wearing this cloth. Of course, from 2 years I am wearing this cloth, no doubt. And of course, in between I washed it, no doubt. So once it has become very brittle, once it becomes old, then what happens? Then I discard this garment, I discard this cloth, and I wear a new cloth. So similarly, the self or the spirit or the subtle body, according to the non-dualistic philosophy, what it does, it leaves this physical body and it assumes or it takes the new body. So the body is changing from one life to another. So the body is mortal, the body is temporary, the body is not permanent, the body is bound to disintegrate. This physical body is bound to perish, but the soul is eternal, and I am that soul. That's what the Vedanta says. We all know that. And the same idea, either esoterically or directly or indirectly, the same idea can be understood from the resurrection of the Jesus Christ. When we think about this, the immortality of the soul, just even when I was doing the prayer, first prayer, Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Oh Lord, please lead us from death to immortality. How can we get led to immortality? With this physical body, it is never possible. Only when we understand our real nature, our true nature, then only we can become immortal, isn't it? So that idea, when I was thinking about this Easter and the resurrection of the Jesus Christ, when I was thinking or meditating or when I was cogitating on that, that's what I remembered. And also, one more thing is very important is on the Good Friday, the Jesus Christ was crucified. So, if you see that, when you read that, what happens? I mean, what do we understand? He sacrificed his life for the purpose of the humanity, or for the welfare of the humanity, or for the good of the humanity. So, all saints, all prophets, all incarnations, they don't have anything to achieve. They're the most unselfish people in the world. Then why they do, I mean, face all these problems? Just for the sake of the humanity or for the sake of the people. So Jesus Christ had nothing to achieve, or Jesus Christ had nothing to lose or nothing to gain. He only sacrificed his life. Why? Because for the betterment of the humanity, for the sake of the humanity, for the sake of all of us. How much love, infinite love. how much compassion, how much the universal love he had. Just we can remember or we can think about it. This gives lot of assurance for all of us to believe more and more in the God or in the divine or in the dharma or in the self or in the higher spirit or in the divine spirit. Why? The Lord is here for us to help. The Lord has sacrificed his life. He sacrificed his body, he sacrificed his life, he sacrificed everything for the sake of the humanity. So, if today or tomorrow, when we are having a problem, if we are having a problem, definitely God is here to save us. God is here to help us. God is here to uplift us. So, when I was thinking about this crucifixion of the Jesus Christ and the resurrection of the Jesus Christ, that's what I understood, or I mean, that gave us so much inspiration for me, especially. So, when you think this profound philosophy, spiritual insight, philosophical insight, then your celebrating the Easter will have more meaning. Otherwise, children will play the treasure hunt with the eggs, or there can be having a family get together, or probably because the weather is good, so people may go for outing because long weekend. That's all fine, but that should not be limited just for merrymaking. So when you remember all these ideas, the sublime thoughts, sublime views or philosophy, definitely you'll be able to understand and you'll be able to celebrate the Easter still better. And whatever in my limited understanding, when I read the life of Jesus Christ, when I have read whatever the a little bit theology about the Christianity, what I understood is it is one of the good bhakti school, or the path of devotion, the path of divine love, the path of bhakti, whatever we see in Hinduism or in Sanatana Dharma, that has been beautifully discussed, beautifully portrayed in the life of Jesus Christ and also in the Christian theology. Why? Because God appeared in the flesh. When we hear the God appeared in the flesh, that means what? It is nothing but the idea of avatara or the idea of incarnation, whatever we read in Bhagavata or Bhagavad Gita or in Puranas. So that promises the eternity of the soul. And also, if you see from socialistic point of view, from social point of view, Jesus Christ's life, Jesus Christ's teachings have given wonderful impact on the whole of the world and especially on the Western world. Of course, they had their own earlier religions. Maybe they were called tribal religions, or the Greeks. They had their own civilization and the culture and the maybe worship. And the Romans also had their own culture, civilization, and worship. Apart from that, all other cultures were considered as a barbarianism. Then the Jesus Christ life, philosophy, are teachings which constitute the Christianity that covered, inspired, that shaped the entire Western world. And special reference with Europe or with America and with Australia and other, South America, North America, even other parts of the Asia now it is taking care. But of course, sometimes because politics gets involved in the name of religion, there will be a lot of problems or a lot of bloodshed. All these things do happen. Say, for an example, Knight Templars and the Crusaders for Jerusalem, for the holy place sake, they did a lot of fight. Apart from that, in respect to religion, with respect to theology, with respect to philosophy, with respect to culture, Christianity and the life and the teachings of Jesus Christ created a lot of impact on the world scenario. And just if you see the history of Easter, it is very, very important. Why? According to me, it is nothing but it is a spring festival. In the olden days, if you see, in every religion, in every culture, or in every society, nature was very important. The change in the nature, the change in the nature made the people to celebrate. Like, for example, when summer started, or when the spring starts, when the rainy season starts, or when the autumn season starts. So, like that, when different seasons start, they had some festivals. So, according to my understanding, the what you say, the Easter is nothing but it is a like of a festival of spring, where the cold season is almost at the end. The what do you say? The biting cold has reduced, and slowly we are just the leaves, the flowers and leaves are getting, and the trees are slowly, small leaves are getting on the trees, and slowly the temperature has gone down, and the amount of day and night it gets almost closer, or the sunlight the duration of the sunlight gets increased. People can come out more, and they can play, children can play, and people can go and move or whatever. So it's basically what I understood, it was like a festival of spring. And also, according to me, probably it also merged with the Jews' celebrations or Jews' festival. And but the people say that in England, there was a pre-Christian goddesses called Estor, Eveostre, so which was celebrated at the beginning of the spring. So basically, this reference comes to the goddesses. This goddesses comes from the writings of the Venerable Bede, a British monk who lived in the late 7th and early 8th century. He says that, quote, Bede wrote that the month in which English Christians were celebrating the resurrection of Jesus had been called Easter month in Old English, referring to a goddess named Easter. And even though Christians had begun affirming the Christian meaning of the celebration, they continued to use the name of the goddesses to designate the season. So basically, I mean, that's how the Easter got celebration. And also, they some of the scholars, because scholars they try to find out the truth, they try to do lot of research and all. Of course, sometimes they are paid for that, or it is because of their passion or whatnot. And also, it is said that this Easter, it is also connected with the Jewish celebrations and also with the Greek celebrations also. For an example, this Easter was nothing but the Passover. In the Hebrew Bible, Passover is a festival that commemorates the liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt, as narrated in the book of Exodus. It was and continued to be the most important Jewish season festival, celebrated on the full moon after the vernal equinox. So even at the time of Jesus Christ, also this Passover had a special significance, and also Jewish people were again under the dominance of foreign powers, especially Romans. So Jewish pilgrims used to go to Jerusalem in the hope that God's chosen people, that is Jewish people, would soon be liberated once more. I think even in one of this Passover festival, Jesus also traveled to Jerusalem with his disciples to celebrate the festival. When he entered Jerusalem, there was a triumphal procession, and people encouraged and people welcomed him with lot of pomp and show, with lot of respect, which also created a disturbance in the Jerusalem temple and with the Jerusalem religious leaders. It seems that both of these actions attracted the attention of the Romans and the Jewish leaders, and probably that's the reason. And of his philosophy, Jesus' philosophy has been misunderstood, and that led him for the crucifixion of the Jesus Christ in the 30 AD. So basically, now if you see the history of the Easter, so it was in the Jewish religion, it was in something with Romans, and it was something with the English people or in the British Also, they had this festival, and that has been observed even from the Christianity. This is the history of it. Now, there are very interesting point. One of the very interesting point for me is how much time was the spiritual ministry of the Jesus Christ. Before going to Jesus Christ, if you see the Buddha spiritual ministry, once when he in Bodh Gaya, he meditated and he got enlightenment, and that's how Gautama became Buddha. After that, he started his spiritual ministry till his leaving his mortal coil, that he continued for 45 years. So for 45 years, Buddha continued his spiritual ministry. He continued his teachings. And with Moses, for how many years he continued his spiritual ministry, if you ask, more or less, it is around 40 years. And what about Muhammad Paigambar, who is the prophet of the Islam religion? Then he was around 20 years, he continued his spiritual ministry. And what about our Swami Vivekananda? You can say more or less like 1891, even if 1892, 93, if you take 93, where he went to the Chicago's Parliament of Religions. From 1893, if you say, then 2000, 1902, he left. That is just a 9 years around. Around 9 years, he did his spiritual ministry. And with reference to Jesus Christ, if you ask, it is only 1 year. But Gospel of John says, in the Gospel of John, it comes around 3 years. But otherwise, the spiritual ministry of Jesus Christ, if you see, it is just 1 year. Very important. Just in 1 year, he created such a spiritual wave, that is which is very notable. I think many people won't understand this, or won't recognize, or won't notice it, but it is very interesting. Now, when I was just going through few things, nowadays there are two different ideas which appears as a contrary for many people. But for the people who have studied Indian philosophy or the Vedanta, for them it doesn't appear conflicting. Like now, Jesus is the Son of God. I and my Father are one and the same. So I and my Father are one and the same. That means what? Each soul is potentially divine. There is no difference between any beings, because intrinsically, potentially, every being is divine. So qualitatively, there is no difference between God and the individual being. That's what Advaita Vedanta, the non-dualistic philosophy, teaches. Even this has been told from many. But when you see the Judaism, the scriptures were revealed to Moses as like a prophet he was. And in Islam, the scriptures were revealed to the Muhammad. But in the Jesus Christ, he had some revelations and all, we say, or we understand. But the scriptures were revealed to him. That's what he taught. There is no mention, as my understanding goes. So, because of his spiritual life, because of his spiritual practices, and because of his spiritual experience, whatever he knew, basically, he gave as the teachings. And if you see, even in Hinduism, our basic scriptures are Vedas. So, Vedas came from God, no doubt. God is the really author of Vedas. But how did we get? Did God give for us? Actually, it is universal. When the rishis, during their meditation, when their mind rise to the above level, then it was revealed for them. So they were all revealed text. The Vedas are revealed text for all of us. It was given by the rishis, and we have got acharyas, teachers, and we have got saints, all these things, and incarnations also. So if you see from this point, so we can consider very clearly that Jesus Christ was an incarnation. He descended on this earth to uplift the people. But in the name of Jesus Christ, lot of things, lot of unwanted things people have done in the name of religion, that we have to understand. That is not the problem of Christ or Christ's teachings. It was only because of the devotees or because of his followers. That's the reason I always say on the lighter side. When we practice religion, there is no problem. But when we use religion, then only the problem comes. Just like we are supposed to love the people and we are supposed to use the things. But actually, we use the people and we love things. Similarly, we should practice religion, but instead of that, many times we use religion. That's where the bloodshed and the bigotry, fanaticism, and the quarrels between countries, between religions, between sects, all things creeps in. So, if you see this resurrection, as already I told, this is very important for all of us. Is that Jesus is eternal. How Jesus is eternal? Not from the point of body, from the point of spirit, or from the point of soul, or from the point of Atman, or from the point of divinity. Now, this doubt can come for many of us, most of us. Even Holy Mother, the spiritual concept of Sri Ramakrishna, she also got this doubt. I mean, because of grief. When Sri Ramakrishna left his mortal coil, her mind soaked in the grief. She felt, oh, my strength, my energy is no more. Then what is the point in my living? So let me also leave my mortal coil. Let me leave away, cast away this body, just like we leave the clothes. So similarly, I shall leave this body and let me also get liberated from this body or from these clutches or from this bondage of this body and mind. Immediately, Sri Ramakrishna appears and he says that I'm here. And this happened 2 or 3 times. Even people were commenting, as a Hindu custom, she was supposed to remove her bangles and other things, as a Hindu custom in those days. Then when she was supposed to remove the bangles, again Sri Ramakrishna appeared and he said, I'm here. I've changed from one room to another. I've just shifted from one room to another. That's all. So why do you think that I am not here or I'm dead or whatever? I'm immortal. I'm not the mortal. So this assurance was given for almost 3 times, time and again, 3 times for Holy Mother Sharda Devi. Then she stopped thinking that Sri Ramakrishna is no more, or so that I have become a widow. I should remove my bangles and whatnot. So this immortality of the soul or immortality of the self is very, very important for all of us, which is a continuation for our life, which gives also that what to say rebirth, which also assures the rebirth. Karma theory comes into the picture also, and more than that. So if I see that I am only body and mind, when I'm not healthy, or when I've got disease, or when my emotions go down, when my body is not well, then I feel morose. I feel unhappy because of the body, because of the problems in the body level and mind level. But if a person feels that is neither the body and mind, is not, rather is a self, is a Atman, which is a divine, which weapons cannot destroy, air cannot dry, water cannot wet, nothing can destroy because it is the subject, it is not the object. It gives lot of strength for all of us. How the Jesus Christ able to bear all that pain? Probably he knew very well that is not that body and mind, is the self. Similarly, we can see with the life of Swami Vivekananda. Similarly, we can see with the life of Ramakrishna. Similarly, we can see with the life of all the greatest people or the saints, how they were able to bear all these things. We can say penance, we can say because of their strong willpower, all that things are fine. But the baseline, if you say, it is because they had that spiritual power, that spiritual strength. It was not the strength from the body, physical strength. It is not emotional strength. It was not the intellectual strength. It was not the mental strength. It was the spiritual strength. This spiritual strength shakes the world. That's how they were able to do it. How did it come from them? From where they get it? It was because of their realization that they are self, not the body and mind. Even I think I keep on telling that Swami Vivekananda was able to face the lion or tiger without even an iota of fear. How? Because of the Atma Shakti, because of the strength received from the self. So, even according to me, the resurrection of the Jesus Christ, which is on tomorrow, Easter, The inspiration we can take from the Easter is I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the limited intellect, rather, I am the self. I am the divine. I don't have birth, I don't have death. I am not limited by time and space causation. I am not mortal. I don't have death. All these things belongs to body and mind, but I am immortal. The moment when I think that I am divine and I am immortal, then that gives me tremendous confidence, tremendous positive insights, positive strength for me to tackle my life, tackle my problems. And also, it gives, what you say, tremendous strength for me to lead my life. Just for an example, something happens to the body, immediately I am morose. Why? Because I think that though it is my body, though it has happened to my body, but I am feeling that it has happened to me. But for us, something happens to the saint, he doesn't bother. Why? He knows that is not body and mind, is the self. Body and mind are just their instruments. So if something happens to instrument, either change the instrument or take care of the instrument, but you are not the instrument. The more and more when you get detached from your instrument, you'll be able to see things objectively, and you'll be able to handle the things in a very better way. So similarly, this resurrection of Jesus Christ, from the Advaitic point of view, from the knowledge point of view, it gives that the self or the soul is immortal, and I am that self. So it gives the, tremendous confidence, and also it shows that it is the science of infinite possibilities. Many things can be done. So that is what. When you think body and mind, you can do many things, no doubt. But when you think of yourself, you can do much more things or many more things. Most of the things you can do it. That's what we see in the Drupdrisha Viveka, the inquiry between the seer and the seen. And from the bhakti point of view, if you see, from the devotional point of view, if you see, the power, the universal power, the universal energy of the Jesus Christ can be understood. Though the Romans and the then Jewish leaders, they mistook Jesus Christ or him or his teachings, and he was crucified, no doubt. Then when people thought that he's dead, and when he was put in the tomb, then after some time his body was missing because he was resurrected. Means again, what do you say? The life has been, he came into the life. That means what? Jesus' life, Jesus Christ is immortal. When Jesus Christ is immortal as a spirit, not as a body. That means what? God is there at all times. God is there even now. So since he has got such universal power, he's omniscient, he's omnipresent, he's omnipotent, he's all powerful. That gives tremendous confidence and tremendous positive feelings for us to take care of our life. Oh God, there's a beautiful prayer of an atheist. The whole of his life, the whole of his life, he tried to prove that God doesn't exist. God doesn't exist. God doesn't exist. When he was on deathbed, when he understood that the death is nearing to him, then he started praying, Oh God, if you exist, please save me. That's why Swami Vivekananda tells that till the death is there, no one can get away from the God and the Dharma. Of course, religion is not the good translation, right translation of the Dharma, but that's the only possible translation we have got. So, without God and religion, if, till when the death exists in this world, so no one can get away from the God and the religion. Religion means here spirituality. I don't mean with the do's and don'ts or with the organized clubs or whatever. So, why do we need God? To understand that we are immortal. Why do we need self? Because it is our nature. So, God is a higher power where He can help us to uplift us, where He can give, we can help us to make our life better and live the life of peace, life of contentment, life of happiness. And from this Easter, from the Good Friday and Easter, what we can understand that is God is immortal. The self is immortal. God is all powerful. So, when we pray, definitely God will listen to our prayers. God will listen to us. God can listen us, God will listen to us, and definitely He will shower His blessings. He will shower His infinite grace on all of us so that we can tackle our life, we can tackle our problems, we can be happily or blissfully, we can lead our life. I fervently pray to the Jesus Christ and all the prophets and incarnations so that let all of them bless all of us and we shall live the blissful life, contented life, rightful life. Wish you all happy Easter. Thank you. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.